is a host for today's session. The ISTD-IIMT Career Planning Series, led by the ISTD Bhubaneswar chapter in collaboration with IIMT Bhubaneswar, focuses on career planning aspects in engineering and management. The program is designed to equip participants with critical skills required for professional success in this field, including strategic thinking, leadership, technical proficiency, project management, and effective communication. Through workshops, seminar, practical exercises, and guest talk, the participants gain insights into industry trends, enhance their problem-solving abilities, and develop a structured approach to career growth, enhancing adaptability and confidence to excel in diverse engineering and managerial roles. Moving on to today's schedule, we have with us Professor Dr. Pramod Kumar Pusti, sir, Principal, IIMT Bhubaneswar. The welcome address will be given by our Secretary of ISTD Bhubaneswar chapter, Dr. Paresh Chandra Mahanti, sir, who is also Director at Talent Sigma Professional Private Limited. Professor Raju Rathod will be delivering the talk on expanding horizon of career options, explore new skills, who is also professor at Sardar Patel University, Vallabh Vidyanagar, and regional vice president of West ISTD. And the end, we will be having some feedback and interaction session. Moving on, as this, we move to the second season of the ISTD-IIMT lecture series. The first series was called as ISTD-IIMT Upskilling Series. In the first edition, Dr. Paresh Chandra Mahanti sir gave the talk himself. In second edition, Dr. Purnima Bakshi madam and Mr. Mohijan delivered their talks. In the third edition, Dr. Megha Sharma and Mr. Kaushik Anand delivered their respective talk. The fourth edition was covered by Mr. Manas Pratim Goswami and Ms. Veena Naik. Fifth edition was covered by Mr. Siddharth Mahanti. Sixth edition was covered by Mr. Siddharth Sahu. Seventh was covered by Mr. Avindas. Eighth was covered by Mr. Joswant Singh Narayan Singhal. Ninth edition was covered by Mr. Shubhranshu Shekhar Samanta. 10th edition was covered by Mr. Avinash Kotni. 11th edition was given by Dr. Mosmi Panda madam. And 12th edition was given by Dr. Rahul Jain. And in the second season, ISTD-IIMT Career Planning Series, first edition was covered by Ms. Ananya Padhiyari. Moving on, let me introduce to Director and Talent Sigma Professional Private Limited and Secretary of ISTD Bhubaneswar chapter, Dr. Paresh Chandra Mahanti sir. Dr. Paresh Chandra Mahanti was a banker for 25 years and has worked in various capacities in India and abroad. Currently, he is the Secretary of the ISTD Bhubaneswar chapter. He was a corporate trainer for 17 years, having expertise in management, banking, and finance. He is a motivational speaker and has been conducting career counseling sessions for students of various management and technical colleges. As a guest faculty, he has been taking sessions on OB, management, and banking for various management colleges and guides job seekers to participate in GD and how to face interview board. He is an author of several books and has published various articles in reputed magazines in India and abroad. He is a YouTuber and gives radio talks for improving personality of rural students and youth in urban slums. He is also the editor of the e-magazine, The Mirror of ISTD Bhubaneswar chapter. Now, let me introduce to you our guest speaker today, Professor Raju Rathod, Professor Sardar Patel University, Vallabh Vidyanagar, and Regional Vice President of West ISTD. Professor Raju Rathod, professor at MBA Department, Sardar Patel University, Vallabh Vidyanagar, has been serving the university since 2002. An MBA graduate, gold medalist, and UGC NET qualified December 2000. He has 22 years of teaching and research experience at the postgraduate level. He is the founder, chairman of the Indian Society for Training and Development, Anand, 2017 to 2020, and currently serves as regional vice president of West ISTD, a national trainer of Junior Chamber International JCI since 2013 and a certified trainer of the National Skill Development Council, Government of India 2021. He attended a 4-month residential FDP at IIM Ahmedabad in 2009. Professor Rathod has completed 2 UGC and 5 Government of Gujarat research projects, including the District Human Development Project of UNDP, and has published 5 books and 105 research articles, including Scopus Index and UGCK journals. He has guided 16 PhD and 17 MPhil students, with 8 currently pursuing PhD under his mentorship. A recipient of the Outstanding National Trainer Award of JCI Zone 8 2019, he has conducted over 250 training sessions for corporate, educational institute, and government organization. He has served as president of JCI Ballabh Vidyanagar 2015, Lions Club of Bithal Udyanagar 2018-19, and district chairman for vocational training 2021 to 2023. Currently serving as DC training program. Additionally, he has held leadership roles in the Sardar Patel University Teachers Association for 6 years. Now, I would request our principal, Professor Dr. Pramod Kumar Kushri sir, to speak few things about our institute. Sir, please.
Jai Jagannath. A very good evening to one and all present here. A hearty welcome to all our distinguished speakers and participants as we embark on another captivating journey in the ISTD and IIMT lecture series. InterScience Institute of Management and Technology Bhubaneswar was established in the year 2007 with an objective of teaching science of management in addition to the practice of management. The name itself explains about the scientific study of management, and further to mention that it is inscribed in our institute logo. We are a UNESCO Unitarian Institute of UNESCO Chair Professor of Economic Systems and Human Rights, Professor Francisco Vigliarolo, National University of La Plata. Let me now explain what we mean by teaching science of management. During these 15 years of excellence, we have organized, facilitated more than 100 symposium, seminar, workshops, national and international in various niche areas of management and technology. Since our inception, we at IIMT have edited and published more than 100 volumes in the area of management and technology from reputed publishing houses like IEEE, ACM, Springer, Elsevier, iOS, SPY, Clear Academic, MDPI, Hindawi, or InterScience, etc. All these books are available for purchase from Google or Amazon. All our faculty members are engaged in these activities. Each year, we invite and host professors from abroad for workshops and seminars. I am tempted to say that last year, Professor Jesus Garcia from Universidad Complutense de Madrid and Professor Vigayan Sugmoran from Oakland University School of Business visited our campus. During the month of April 2023, Professor Vipul Jain was here from Victoria University, Wellington, for a month on a research exchange program. We publish management books through our own in-house publication, that is IIMT Lecture Notes on Management, where we publish the essential books like self-management, career guidance, and emerging fields of management. We have started one channel, namely IIMT Open House in YouTube. The purpose is to educate students and parents at large on various subjects and disciplines through talks and interviews. By now, we have more than 100 episodes available at our YouTube channel, namely @IIMT Open House. We have taken interviews with the professors, professionals, entrepreneurs, and policymakers. From the academic session 2025-26, apart from the management courses of BBA and MBA and computer application courses of BCA and MCA, we will be entering into engineering courses, providing wide range of opportunities for our students. The courses offered are BTech program, Civil Engineering core, Computer Science and Engineering core, Computer Science and Engineering, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, Computer Science and Engineering, Cyber Security, Electrical Engineering core, Mechanical Engineering core. MTech program, Computer Science and Engineering, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. IIMT Bhubaneswar offers scholarships and awards to recognize and encourage academic excellence among students in science, technology, engineering, and management fields, sponsored by renowned personalities. These awards celebrate achievements such as highest CGPA and exceptional program in specific subjects, fostering innovation and dedication among students. We have created a platform known as Inter-Science Research Networks, consisting of professionals and researchers. It is available at www.interscience.ac.in, through which we organize various programs inside and outside India. We do arrange workshops and seminars at various universities. IIMT, in collaboration with ISTD, had successfully organized the first edition of an annual event on disruptive human resource management, people, technology, and strategy at IIMT campus, Bhubaneswar, during 13th and 14th January 2024, under the guidance of Dr. Paresh Chandra Mohanty, Director, Professional Private Limited and Secretary ISTD Bhubaneswar Chapter, and Dr. Prabodh Kumar Mohanty, Chairperson ISTD Bhubaneswar Chapter and Senior Director HR and Skill KIT University. We are planning to organize the second edition of Disruptive Human Resource Management, that is People, Technology and Strategy, during 11th and 12th January 2025. Thank you all. Now I would request Mr. Alok Arun to carry on with the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I will request Professor and Director of Interscience Institute of Management Technology, Dr. Shrikant Patnaik, to speak few lines about this collaboration approach. Sir, please.
Thank you, Arun. I must welcome officially Professor Raju Rathore to this August gathering. And you must have heard by this time the work we are putting for the development and knowledge of students as well as the guardians in general. So this is not only limited to the student community, rather it is an educative program for the general public. Whoever wants to enter into any professional program, whether it may be engineering, medical, management, law, whatever. So we are arranging talks from different professionals, entrepreneurs, and say professors to give the direction in different domain of say professional excellency. Therefore, today we are very fortunate to have Professor Raju Rathore for giving a talk. What are the new dimension, new horizon of professional education, and what kind of skill the student should require to pursue the career? Thank you. I welcome you again to this gathering.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I would like to call upon the forum Dr. Paresh Chandra Mohanty, sir, to give the introductory remark regarding this collaboration approach. Sir, please.
So, good evening, friends, and welcome you all to this webinar, and Happy New Year to all of you. And today we are fortunate to get Dr. Raju Bhai Rathore to be the second speaker in this series. And this series, like Alok has already said, that it was a brainchild of Dr. Shrikant Patnaik. And in the ISTD Bhubaneswar chapter managing committee meeting, this idea was mooted that just not impart training and development series to the seniors or the professionals, also extend it to the youngsters who are the job seekers. So this upskilling series episode started, and after completion of the 12th episode, there was a decision to publish all the talks in a book form, which Dr. Patnaik is taking care of. This is the second series, and the same way it will also take 12 episodes. And the first episode is complete, and today Dr. Rajubhai Rathore will take it. And as already we have discussed a bit, this is now the burning topic. And in this December 20th, last December 20th and 21st, we had the Eastern Regional Conference at Puri, where more than 120 delegates from different organizations participated. And it was really an eye-opening discussion with the help of all the talents which were gathered in this conference. And carrying it forward for the students particularly, this series is designed so that younger generation will be aware about this artificial intelligence and all these technicalities which are coming and how to get acquainted and take benefit of this knowledge and skills. So with this, I am declaring this program to continue, and we invite Dr. Rathore to impart his deliberation, which will be just not beneficial to the students. We also a lot to learn from. Particularly me, I am not at all a very conversant with this. Dr. Patnaik is a master. I know he is a master in many things, and this is his forte. Anyway, sir, you please carry on, and we are the listeners now. We'll take care. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I would like to call upon the forum our guest speaker today, Professor Raju Rathod, sir. Sir, please, the forum is all yours.
Thank you very much, Alok ji, because right from the beginning he is coordinating the entire program with me. So I recognize the presence. Rather, I am very happy to be part of this first program in the new year of 2025. So Dr. Pramod ji, Mr. Paresh Mohante, Mr. Alok ji, and then we have Srikant Mohante sir also. So I felt so honored to be part of this forum by IIMT at the Bhubaneswar, and I also congratulate on this outset the Western region and especially the host. Proud host of this Eastern Region Conference. I was watching all the photos and all. Uh, Recently, we concluded the an NC meeting at Kolkata. So back to back, it was not possible for me because we have some professional assignment at my department and university also. And then we have a back to back some program. Tomorrow we have a trainers conclave at Surat, which is again a offline program, and we are having more than 100 trainers gathering at the Surat under the banner of ISTD, and then we have a program at ISTD Mumbai that is again 2 days conference in the Western region, and finally in Nagpur we have a Western region conference. So because of this back-to-back program, the duty leave and everything is also difficult. Otherwise, I don't want to miss the opportunity to attend the conference at Bhubaneswar. But I am very very happy that the way it was conducted, and I was going through the entire agenda and program. It was meticulously planned, and excellent efforts by the Bhubaneswar chapter. And Bhubaneswar chapter is always near to my heart because earlier also when I was working in the this chapter development committee, Pani sir was also there, and it is always to be part of this chapter Bhubaneswar from the land of Jagannath. So Jai Jagannath to all the participants and the members of the Bhubaneswar. Let me share my screen. If host disable the Alokji, can you please
Sir, you can
make
share. You can share. There's no
yeah,
issue.
let me try. Yeah, now I can say yeah. Screen, just a minute. नीचे नहीं आ रहा है. Just a minute. ये नीचे मैं स्क्रीन में कर रहा हूँ, but there is
There was a green icon.
yes, because I am operating through laptop because my desktop having some problem.
Okay,
Uh,
so below you can see one icon, share,
that is
green
share.
button.
That button is not coming anyhow.
How come?
Because of this laptop, ne?
No, laptop, either bottom or top. Somewhere it must come.
Yeah, it is there. Screen. Find my mouse. Alokji, is it possible to share the screen from their side?
Yes, sir, it's possible. There is not an issue. I'm
Yeah.
doing it.
Because I have to find otherwise this mouse.
No
Just
issues, sir. No issues. I'll be taking care of. No issues.
just a minute, because
So he can do one thing.
just,
The
just a minute.
PPT can be say operate from Alok Arun
Yes,
and you can deliver the talk.
just a minute. Let me try.
Yes,
Yeah, so
it has
is
come.
it visible?
Yes,
Is it
it is.
visible?
Yes,
Yes,
visible.
Yes, sir.
perfectly,
Yes, sir. I have
perfectly.
I have
Just
shared
a
the
minute.
screen. I have shared the screen. You can deliver your talk. I will be taking care of
Okay,
it.
okay. Thank you very much. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, let me. Thank you so much. So a, a wonderful topic is given to me. Actually, earlier, we planned that there is some interview method, and then we can have some conversation. But then finally, after a discussion, we thought, or I think everyone at the Bhubaneswar chapter, they thought, why not to first have a very quick talk, and then if there is any question, we can discuss. So I choose this particular topic, expanding the horizon of career option, explore the new skill by understanding the context of the program and the way we were discussing the need of this particular program. And I really appreciate both the organization for having such kind of program. Earlier we used to have a program called Dilemma of Digital Generation. So this new generation facing many issues in their life, and sometimes they may not be getting a proper consultation and mentoring, and that's why they may not be taking a right decision at the right time, and particularly for a career option, right? So that is very very important. In my own case, it happened when I was doing my MBA, and then one of my sir told me that, why don't you become a lecturer? Now, before that, I never thought to become a lecturer. And then, the sir who suggested me was my favorite sir. So I thought, why not to give a thought to this particular idea? Now, before that, I never thought, right? And then I inquired, and then somebody told me that you have to clear the UGC NET exam if you want to become a lecturer. So I appeared in a UGC NET exam in the last semester of my MBA, and subsequently I secured a gold medal also in MBA. And then subsequently I got the government job. It is a state government university, and last 22 years I am successfully doing my job as a teacher in the higher education also. And then along with that, I got a lot of autonomy. So I was president in JCI, then in Lions Club also, and then in ISTD also I was the founder chairman, and that's how I got this many opportunities. And finally, on 3rd January 2025, I am getting this opportunity to collaborate with the ISTD Bhubaneswar and the IMT chapter. So let us very quickly see. My entire presentation is based on the India Skill Report. So let us see what I can share with you. Can I have a next slide, Alokji? Yeah, so this is with the help of ISTD, we go through this particular certification by National Skill Development Corporation. So, government started a skill ministry, and then in this ministry, uh, uh, there is a certification program also, and with the help of ISTD itself, we have done this thing, in which there are so many aspects related to skill. And this particular program we done under the management and entrepreneurship, that is MEPSC, right? So in Bhubaneswar also, we probably find some of the certified trainer. Can I have a next slide? Uh, there is a book called Mindset by the Dweck Carroll, in which one thing was given that many people divided the world in the different kind of a classification, but there was a one political philosopher called Benjamin Barber. He said the world can be divided into two categories: the learner and non-learner. So now in this particular point also, when we are doing higher education, particularly the post graduation and the undergraduation, then one of the biggest problem is whatever we are learning, or as a institute, whatever the learning we are providing, whether it is relevant or not. Relevant in terms of earning the livelihood also, and relevant in terms of the progress in the career also, along with the number of years we are doing a job. So the learning is really under the scanner, that whatever type of learning we are grasping, and whatever we are taking from our institute, whether it is relevant or not. So it is a very, very prominent question, right? In this book, if you have seen this three book, The Third Wave by Alvin Toffler, and then Future Shocks by Alvin Toffler, and this is Power Shift by Alvin Toffler. So these are the three classic book. And in the research work of Alvin Toffler and his wife also, these are the questions they asked. And that's why Alvin Toffler used to say that illiterate of 21st centuries are not those who can read and write, but illiterate of 21st centuries are those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So now learning is not just about like the day when we were doing MBA before 20 years. I passed my MBA in 2001, right? So now it is 2025. So almost 24 years, right? And many of us who are be part of this program, not young one, but the seniors and the leaders of Bhubaneswar, they agree with me that the way we learn and the way we build the career, the today's time is totally different. So we must learning in a different perspective and in a different context, right? Next. So what are the major 5 news headline of last 1 month? Can anybody write in their chat box? सबसे बड़ी हेडलाइन क्या थी पिछले कुछ दिनों में? Yes. So most of the time, when we see some of the headlines of the news, then every now and then, can I have a next slide? Next slide, please. Yeah, so most of the time when we are talking about the unemployment, right? And every now and then we find in the newspapers also our performance in the employment front, right? And unemployment front rather. So somewhere these elements are changing, like data, information, knowledge, skills, and resources, right? So these elements are changing in a one or other place, and it create a problem in a decision that what we should learn and what we should not learn. There was a time when information play a very important role, and still in our examination system, we have to remember some information, and then when we go for a written exam, so we vomit, or we just write the information what we by heart, or mugging from our sleepless night, right? But then today, people don't ask about your information and knowledge, but people say how you practice your knowledge, right? And to practice your knowledge, you require the skills. You probably have all the resources, or you may not have the resources, and how to utilize those resources differently, that also one has to see. Otherwise, IBM made a computer, but then who made the computer successful? So it was Microsoft. So if there was no Microsoft, there was no computer. No, and the international business machine IBM, uh, made the computer user friendly and all, but then who give a brain to the computer? So that is Microsoft. So today also we have a brain, we have a resources, but then how to put those resources in a different perspective and in a more relevant way. Next slide, please. So the youngsters, before we discuss the skill, they must understand the difference between this thing, data, knowledge, and information, and the skill, right? They must understand it. Next, please. Yeah, so data here you can see, and then information. So processed data is becoming information. So you have a raw input. When that raw input is processed, it become information. And when you use those information for some decision making, and you earn money or you gain some value out of that information, then that information become knowledge. So for example, I may have a knowledge of share market and equity share and nifty and all, but if I am not investing, then it is merely information. But with that information, if I am investing in the market and earning money, the information become knowledge. So same input may be knowledge for somebody if he or she is earning or generating some value, maybe monetary or non-monetary value, or the same data which somebody is not using, right, and not generating any value, then it is merely information. So the same thing, for somebody it is information, and for me it is a knowledge. Now it all depends upon your skill, that how you can practice that information. If you can put that information into a perspective and earning some money, you require a skill, right? So skill is your ability to converting information into knowledge, right? Means taking a right decision at a right time. Yeah, next please. So here you can understand the difference between data, information, and knowledge. So knowledge is, data is haphazard and scattered here and there, and information is somewhat more organized, and knowledge is putting those dots into some pattern, right? So you get some pattern, and then when you get some insight out of pattern, you will be different in your decision making, and where to use that information and getting a path through that information is a wisdom, right? uh, and then when you have a lot of wisdom, insight, and knowledge, you can have your own theory, right? Like there are books on Narendra Modi, like the economic the style of Narendra Modi. So that it becomes a theory, right? Next. So nowadays doing is the new learning, right? There was a time where uh, we didn't focus much on the doing, right? And we talk about some many uh, evaluation method also, like balanced scorecard, and then we are talking ROI in a training. Also we're talking about ROI. We talk about a responsibility center, right? So accountability of each and every person at a different stages of the organization is increased, right? So you now will be judged on the basis of your performances, not on the basis of your reporting, right? So that's why doing is the new learning. So how much you can do, or how much skill you can manifest in your day to day job life, that is going to be very important. Next please. So and those, there are new skills also, like in a power shift also, or in a third wave also, as the Alvin Toffler says, like in this third wave book, right? So in a third wave book, as he says, we were in a stone age, and then hunting age, and then a human being invented agriculture, and then they settle on the bank of the river, and then finally there was a scientific revolution, and the factory system emerged, and then we have a new economic policy in 1991. Before that we have a cold war, and then finally the computer was invented, internet came, and now we are talking about AI, right? So from stone age to AI, right? Artificial intelligence, augmented realities, right? the entire system has changed, entire ecosystem within which we think the learning and skill has changed, right? So naturally, the skills which we were talking before 20 years, 30 years is totally changed. There was a book in a management which was considered to be a very successful book called In Search of Excellence by Tom Peter and all. Now that book, if you read today, then most of the things, may not be relevant. Like in that book, they never talk about AI and those kind of a thing, because at that point of time, those things were not in a picture, right? But now many new things are coming, internet of everything, the AI, right? Chatbot and many things are coming, and that's why we require a new skills. So which are those new skills? So I took the reference of the India skill report. That is what we are seeing now. Next slide, please. So youth of India are standing at a crossroad with a basic three questions in their mind. Should I get education in India or abroad? That is also a dilemma in the mind of parents also, that should I get education, or should my child get education in India, or whether I should send them abroad, right? So brain drain, and not only brain drain, but global access of education, and the global universities are also going to come in India, right? So so before 10 years nobody think about this option, but now if you come to our Gujarat, and particularly this Anand region, which is at the hub of Amul, right? So where Amul white revolution started. Now here we have a maximum number of NRI, and at each street and building you find a visa consultancy, and lakhs of people are migrating from this part of Gujarat to UK, USA, Canada, Australia, Africa, right? So the accessibility is more because of the death of a distance and time, because of aviation, and because of the liberal visa process, and it becomes very easy to get education in the other developed countries. Then the second question is, will I get a decent job after I shall pass my graduation or post graduation in India? So that is also the big questions lies in front of us, right? And it is challenge for all of us, not only for the students but for the educational institutes also, that are we giving a relevant education? Relevance, what the students define, right? Not our definition. What is the student's definition of relevance? And whether I should get job in India or migrate to some other countries. So not only to get education, but to do a job also, many people are migrating, right? So in midst of all this dilemma facing by the students and their parents, because after all they are the decision maker who decide the future career option of their children and their destiny, right? Next slide. Yeah, so there is a difference between unemployment, employment, and employability, right? So those who learn economics, they know the definition of unemployment. So unemployment means you get a job as per your ability, but still you are not willing to you are willing to do the job at the prevailing price and at the prevailing offer, and still you are not getting a job, then you are unemployed. So the first, your ability to do a job, willingness to do a job, right? That two things are very important, ability and your willingness. You are able to do a job and you are willing to do a job, still you are not getting a job, right? Then you are unemployed. So but then employability is talking about your ability to get a job, right? And ability in terms of the present context. So in present context, what is the expectations of the employer, and whether you can fulfill those expectations or not. So if you are able to fulfill their expectation and still you are not getting a job, then it is unemployment, right? Otherwise it is merely a personal problem, right? So that we should understand, that how to develop my own ability to get the employment, right? Because employment is there. There was one youngster who used to complain to everyone that my salary is only 20,000 rupees per month, and what I can do in 20,000 rupees. 20,000 rupees is a very less salary, and for last 5 years I am getting only 20,000 rupees salary. There is no hike, there is no growth. So then there was one other wise man, and he said, what is the highest salary paid by your company in your organization? Then he didn't know about that, so he said, you inquired. And then he inquired, then he came to know that the highest salary in my company paid to one person is 25 lakhs. So then he said, in your company, there is a one person who is getting 25 lakh rupees per month, and you are getting 20,000 rupees per month. It means it is not, a company is not willing to pay the salary up to 25 lakh. Company is paying 25 lakh rupees salary to somebody, and you are getting 20,000 rupees. So there must be some reason that why somebody is getting 25 lakh rupees per month and why you are getting only 20,000 rupees per month, right? So if you can raise your standard from 20,000 rupees to 25 lakh rupees, right, then naturally, your salary will increase. So your salary will not increase by merely doing a complaint that why my salary is only 20,000 rupees, right? So it is not company's problem, it is your problem, right? You don't deserve to get this salary, and that's why your salary is only 20,000 and somebody's salary is 25 lakh rupees per month, right? So that is all about employment and employability. Next slide, please. So, whatever the course you have done, whether it is MBA or BE or a ME or any kind of a post graduation in a pharmacy or any stream you got the education, this three pillar need to be assessed. Like what is my assessment, my personal assessment, right? If I am seeking for a job, in terms of my attitude, my skill set, and my knowledge. So whatever the present level of my, or whatever the present state of my attitude, present set of my skills, and present standard of my knowledge, whether it is relevant or not, whether it is marketable in the market or not. So I have to do that personal assessment for this my key performance area, attitude, skills, and knowledge. In which skills today we are going to talk much about that, right? Attitude and knowledge. So whichever field you are working, or whichever domain you are pursuing your undergraduate and postgraduate, you have to have a minimum knowledge regarding the concepts and theories of that domain. And then attitude is like a life lessons and lifelong process, that you have to be positive in your attitude and very humble and egoless person, right? So that also cannot be taught. Attitude cannot be taught, right? It comes from your culture, it comes from your beliefs, values, system, and all. But skills is something, especially in the science, technology, right, engineering field. Skills become very, very important. Next slide, please. So you may be knowing about the skill report, you may not be knowing about the skill report. This India skill report published by the VBox in the partnership with CII, AICT, All India Association of Universities, and then UNDP is also part of this report. And this report is published since 2014. So this 2024 is the 11th edition of this skill report. So it is free of cost available. You can just write a Skill India report, whichever year you want the report. You can just type in a Google, you directly get a PDF file. So it is totally in a public domain and free of cost to refer. And there is a lot of insight about the changing landscape of skills. Next slide, please. So why India skill report is essential a document to refer, right? That I want to establish. Next slide, please. So the report consists of in-depth study of employability among the fresh candidate joining the workforce. And by keeping in mind the change that occurred during the pandemic, the report assesses the demand and supply of talent nationwide, right? So whomsoever is trying to understand that what kind of a skill you required in times to come, they must, or they should refer this India skill report. So they get one overall aerial view regarding the skill landscape of India, in terms of the expectation of industries also, and the perspective of the experts from the different domains and field also, right? Next slide, please. So we discuss some of the important highlight of the last 10 years report. This image is from India skill report 2024, the recent one. And in the recent report, the focus is on impact of AI on the workforce, and that is what exactly focus in the Eastern region conference also, right? And that's why in our Western region conference also we will be focusing on transforming for tomorrow, yeah, right, redefining the learning development and workplaces, future workplaces. So here, this India skill report also the impact of artificial intelligence on a skills, work, and mobility. Right. This is the theme of the India skill report 2024. Next slide, please. So this report says that with increased access to the technology, it is estimated that close to a billion, matlab 100 crore Indian will have uninterrupted internet access by 2030. And considering that the average age of the Indian population is 26 to 27-year old, the vast workforce available to around 50% population in the age group of 18 to 14 in India. And that is the reason, the whole world is seeing towards India, like what Indian will do. So they, very closely watch our movement in India, because if you talk about Japan, then they are suffering from the aged population. Even in USA also, the population rate is almost stagnant, right? And the aged population is increasing day by day. Same is the problem with many other developed countries. But in India, still, we have a very, very talented young generation who know how to use technology, right? So students or any person might not went to the school, right? But they know how to use mobile. So now our children, know how to operate mobile phone even before going to the school. You can check with the youngest possible child, right? 2 years, 3 years, and then they even not started going to school, but the way, they use the phone, it is really surprising. So, technology is something what the Luhan says before. So many Mac Luhan, as one of the media expert, right, say before more than 200 years that the time come where media become the message, right? So medium become a message. So the medium become more powerful than message, and that is exactly what happening, right? That today medium in terms of, say, social medium like Facebook, and then Insta, and then LinkedIn, and then right, all those medium become more powerful than message. And that's why, we spend a lot of time in useless messages and all, where messages are not important, but the habit of utilizing those technology, right? We hooked to that technology, that because the technology is designed in a such a way that it engage the audience very creatively and habitually, right? Next slide, please. Now in this regime, the youngsters need to find the job. So which domain have a more employable talent? So if you have this question in your mind, then this report give you the idea. Next slide, please. कौन से डोमेन में ज्यादा जॉब होगी? तो अगर वो आप इसमें दिखेगा नहीं आपको, 2015 से 2021 का डेटा दिया गया है. तो in which on the left side the degrees are given: B, BTech, MBA, Bachelor of Arts, BCom, BSc, MCA, ITI, Polytechnical, and BPharm. So this degree wise, the data is given, and the BE and BTech is still in the first position, right? Giving the maximum number of job, right, in the market. And then comes MBA, and then Bachelor of Arts is ahead than BCom, which is something surprising, right? And even Bachelor of Arts is ahead than the MCA also, right? No, sorry. MCA is still having 45%, and but it is decreasing day by day. The Bachelor of Arts is increasing day by day employability, but MCA is in a decreasing demand. In 2015 there was 45% demand, but now it is decreasing up to 22%. And ITI is having also same problem. Polytechnical is now picking up, right? That's why many engineering degree colleges started the polytechnical also. And then there are many changes after 2021 also, and that data you can get from the report. and this ups and downs is going on. Now, why I am referring all this degree, because in India most of the time we have this many options. Next slide please. So what do you think, employability of your young workforce increase or decrease in last 5 years? So you may think it increase, you may think it decrease, but then what report says, right? Next slide please. So you can say in 2015 it was 37.22%, and then in 2022-21 it is increased. It increased up to 45.9%. So employability has increased over a period of time. And then after corona, like in 2021 we are passing through corona, and then after corona there is a lot of other further change, right? So that also we need to consider. Next slide please. So gender wise also you can see that female are participating more in the employability competition, right? That the male students, potential employees, they must see this thing very seriously, because a female, they are more competitive and give a very tough competition to the male counterpart, right? So that one has to consider very seriously. Next slide please. So this is also very pertinent question the students should ask themselves, that which are the sectors hired the maximum employees in the last 5 years, right? So they should think about that also. And next slide please. So you can see this hospitality, including aviation, tour travel, then banking, finance, right, and insurance, and then core sector like oil, and then there is a retail, e-commerce, transportation, and pharma, and then you have a addition like auto ancillaries also. And this business, this finance and insurance, that sector is always booming, and having a lot of demand of employees from 2015 onward. You can see this BFSI, banking and financial services and insurance, that is BFSI, is really in demand. And then you have a BPO also, business process outsourcing, KPO also, that is knowledge process outsourcing, and IT enabled services also, internet business also. And then in 2021 you have a of course the BFSI, and then software, hardware, IT, internet, and business. Next slide please. So which age group has been found most employable age group, right? That is also the question one can ask, because there are so many mid career crisis also. Next slide please. So most of the employable age group was found to be between 18 to 21 years old, indicating the structural change in the employability landscape of the future. So there is a lot of scope for the fresher, if they try at the right domain and right place and in the right sector, right? So this data also need to be very closely studied by the students. And it is not just India skill report, there are so many reports by LinkedIn also. There are reports from the other few organizations also, right, like India talent report. So those kind of reports are also available, and then the student should refer that. Next slide please. So now this is the question today what we talk about. And if anyone want to guess what are the topmost 5 technical and soft skills, anybody want to say anything? कौन सी skill होगी topmost 5 technical and 5 soft skill in the present time? Any answer? So what is the purpose of this particular session? Like most of the time हम सुनी सुनाई बातों पे भरोसा कर लेते हैं, or we may have a wild guessing or assumption that okay, these are the skill is in a buzz, or these are the skill in a demand, and something like that. But we should not believe in the WhatsApp university or our own guts feeling and something like that, right? But we have to refer and not blindly follow that report, but to just have a realistic awareness that actually what is going on in the industry or in the reality, right? Because these are the report prepared with the scientific methodology and collaboration of more than 10 national and international bodies, right? So these are the reports which actually give the very, very eye-opening and insightful things, right? Instead of going for a thumb rule or Gola method or just guessing out of your limited knowledge, right? So let us see those 5 top skills. Next slide, please. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so technical skills, I Python programming, and then neural network, cloud computing, supply chain, and general statistics. Now, surprisingly, general statistics, but nobody want to do BSc statistics or MSc statistics, right? But general statistics as a base and fundamentals of all the computing and the research and data analysis and the artificial intelligence also become very, very important and going to be very, very important. So still, there is a scope of general statistics. On the soft skill side, you can see the problem solving, which is completely ignored by the students. If they do a lot of even in an internship also, most of the time they prepare a descriptive report. They don't prepare an analytical report or a problem solving report. So problem solving is one of the major issue. If you happen to watch uh, the documentary on the success stories of Bill Gates, Decode the Bill, right? So in a Decode the Bill, they show that what was the first project of a Bill Gates. So the first project of a Bill Gates was he and his friend took up that project was preparing a software to design a timetable of a school. So when they were in a 7th standard, their school asked them, or they actually helped the school to prepare a timetable. And then looking to this skill of preparing the timetable through computer, the another school also gave this project to them, and that's how they prepare a software, and then the same skill they applied in the other problems also, because the first assignment what they got from a school, so they have a more than 100 subjects and more than 100 teachers, and then number of students. So how to set those permutation and combination, so it require a software, and that's how they get the first assignment and the idea of a business also. So how to solve a practical problem of the industry or the institutes. Communication is also a very, very demanding skill, no doubt about that, right? Because after all, we all are a human being. So whatever the debate I heard, and I have been participating, people say that AI will not replace the human being, so human being will definitely be there, and that's why communication is also the very, very important skill the industry check. Then active learning and resilience and flexibility, that is also very, very important. And this flexibility, the youngsters are facing a lot of issues. Like I have been teaching in MBA department for last 15 years. Earlier I was in MCOM department for 9 years. So I know this flexibility issue among the student. If their class started at 10 o'clock, and if ask them to come at 8 a.m. morning for a one day, then they have a lot of issues. Now then they start complaining कि ट्रेन नहीं है और ये है और घर में ये है और ये हो जाएगा वो हो जाएगा. There are a lot of apprehension and reluctance you find in their approach. So flexibility is something very easy to understand, but very difficult to apply and very difficult to adapt in the life. And the same is the with the resilience also and active learning also. Because how somebody measure that whether I am actively learning or not. So active learning, anyone can say that okay, I am actively learning something, but how you do the measurement that I am my active learning is relevant. So it is not just about observing that I am learning or not, but it is about proving that okay, I am actively learning, right? And the same is the case with the digital dexterity and the analytical and critical thinking. So these are the top 5 technical skill and soft skills in a demand by the industry, And it is not my list, it is from the India Skill Report. Next slide, please. So now we very quickly see those who want to refer, they can refer from the report. So we can have some time for question and answer. So skill desired by employees in 2015. And this many lists I have given from a different year, so somebody can compare. Next slide, please. Upcoming new skill, emerging job area skill in the next 5 years, that is data science and analysis, digital marketing, robotic process automation, human centered design, and compliances. This compliances is also becoming very, very important. So here you require a knowledge of the legislations and APO, right? Knowledge process outsourcing and all these things. Digital assistance for these compliances also. Next slide, please. And yeah, next slide. These are common career path in a demand as per the skill report 2022. Sales and marketing, networking expert, financial compliances, specialized engineering, e-commerce experiences, artificial intelligence, cyber security, user experience design, customer services, data science and analysis, and business leadership. Now one can easily have a one full session on each of this. Recently Manish Bhai is on my screen. He knows when I went to his place, he invited Mr. Dilip Pandya from Baroda just to convince the students that there is a bright career in the sales field also. And I also said to the Manish Bhai that I am also facing the same problem with my students also. So immediately after 2 weeks, I invited the same person, Mr. Dilip Pandya from Baroda, and he took a session for my students for 2 hours to convincing the students that sales is also very, very impressive career. And then thanks to Manish Bhai Sitpuria, Dr. Manish Sitpuria, because of Sir Dilip Bhai session, immediately after that this HDFC life insurance came. And previously they didn't not a single student appear for an interview. Company came, but students didn't appear for interview because it's a sales job. But because of the Dilip Bhai session and that idea I got from you, and the contact also from you. So the 6 students have been selected. Actually, around 9 students appeared in the interview, and 6 students have been selected in the HDFC life insurance because of that 2 hour session, right? So my point is like even this forum also can have a session on each of this, right? Each of this future skill in a demand, networking experts, cyber security, right? Every day the fraud are happening even in Gujarat. So today if you call, what is the caller tune that they give you warning regarding this cyber fraud, right? कि WhatsApp में ऐसे मैसेज आते हैं तो ऐसा मत कीजिए, वैसा मत कीजिए. Now why such caller tune government need to set in the phone? Because this cyber security problem, right? So these are all the things which we should discuss. Business leadership, right? Like that's why ISTD is there. There will be a huge crisis of a leader in the times to come in India, right? Next slide, please. So disruption that could radically change the future work of 2023. So this also, somebody must refer AI automation and robotic technology implementation, deglobalization, geographical located center for a skill development, the changing value of employees as per their preferences, the 0 hours contact will become very crucial concept, right? And this blink it, right? Blink it, like they are following this particular concept. And it is very difficult for youngsters also to cope up with this speed, right, at which the customers want the service. Next slide, please. Then they're identifying job and role in AI across the industries. So AI automation in manufacturing, customer service through AI, agri and allied form like a pottery using a sustainable practices, retail consumer centric marketplace, health and transportation, IT in India, logistic and transportation, then banking, finance, insurance. So these are all the field in which AI is going to play a major role. And then there are some specific application of AI also. Just in a research, those who are doing PhD and MPhil and those kind of courses, at present there are hundreds of AI tools and application which help for a literature review, for problem identification, for research proposal, for analysis of the data, right? So research will become very easy, but then how to prepare report and how to make that report relevant, where exactly you need a human psyche and human skill. Next slide, please. So now this is the last point which I want to focus more. Where is the maximum skill gap? Maximum skill gap किधर है ना? Next slide, please. So the maximum skill gap is in a data science, artificial intelligence, and natural language processes, right? Here there is a maximum skill gap as per the India skill report. So the students can focus on that. Artificial intelligence, of course, some people maintain a distance, and a certain part or a certain generation, or some generation don't want to accept, they are very reluctant to the artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligence is something, you may like it or you may not like it, but you cannot ignore it, right? You may hate that artificial intelligence, or you may love artificial intelligence, but you cannot ignore the artificial intelligence, right? That is the fact of the day. Next slide, please. And finally, these are all the macro level things are happening, that students should very closely understand this thing. Gig and freelancing work, suicide rate increase among the students, impact on street vendors because of this automation and AI, internet activity rise during the pandemic, cloud computing and artificial intelligence, harnessing the latest technology, reskilling a majority Indians workflows, artificial intelligence, data science, and this thing. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is exactly, I want a few prompt and to give to the audience here. Now, sir, you can come out from the screen so we can have some interaction, right? So these are the major, things I wanted to highlight from this India skill report. So my entire presentation is majority of the points are from India skill report, last 10 years India skill report, because I don't want to share here my philosophy and my limited subjective knowledge, right? I want something based on the scientific report, which is prepared based on the methodology, right? So that's why I thought to put a few insight from this India skill report. And if somebody want to know more, then I suggest they need to refer at least last 2 or 3 years report, right? If you refer last 2 or 3 years report, you get a lot of insight about the future career option, as well as the trend in the market or the expectation of the industry also. So they share the interviews of the industry experts also, right? So this is what exactly I want to say. And again, as Elvin Toffler say, learn, unlearn, and relearn. So that should be the continuous process, right? Nobody is safe, right, sir? Darwin says survival of fittest. तो हम में से कोई सेफ नहीं है सर, है ना? तो हमको सीखना ही पड़ेगा, मतलब हम कोई ऐसे जंगल में जाके रहने वाले तो है नहीं. वी आर अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस सोसाइटी. जैसे भुवनेश्वर में रहे या भरूच में रहे, रहना तो लोगों के बीच ही है ना? So these are the challenges collectively we are facing as a society, and we are the people who has to guide the upcoming generation. जो आने वाली जनरेशन है उसको भी तो हमें ही गाइड करना पड़ेगा. तो कहीं ना कहीं हम लोगों को भी सीखना पड़ता है ये सब. जैसे अभी ये जूम पे ही हम सीख ही रहे हैं. वी आर स्ट्रगलिंग बट देन वी आर लर्निंग, राइट? तो अंत में मैं इतना ही जो हर टाइम कहता हूं कि जिंदगी रही तो हम मिलेंगे, लेकिन मिलेंगे तो ही जिंदगी रहेगी ना. तो हम इस माध्यम से सही मिल रहे हैं, वही बड़ी बात है. तो thank you for listening my thoughts on this particular theme. I hope I justify the purpose of this particular initiative. And still, if anyone want to share something or reflect something, or want to ask something, if it is possible, I can throw my insight on that.